to PharmaPulse, our new podcast by Reuters Events Pharma, where we decode the latest trends that are taking place within the industry. My name is Canna Hutton, your host for today, and joining us is Jon Zwinski, who is the General Manager at Chiesi USA, to discuss pharma's journey towards equity and access. So before we jump into the questions that we have for you, Jon, please can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role?
Well, hello, Kana. Thanks for having me today. Before I talk about myself and my role, I think maybe it'd be better for me to kick off and talk a little bit about Chiesi. So Chiesi is a global biopharmaceutical company, and Chiesi is based in Parma, Italy. Been in
Mhm.
business for over 85 years, and the Chiesi group is committed to being a force of good in improving care for patients, really with three areas of focus. The first area is air, which is basically diseases of the lung. The second area is rare diseases and ultra rare diseases. And the third area of focus is called care. And that's a broad bucket, but most of the care business is hospital-based business. So patients that need products giving in the hospital.
Mhm.
So in the United States, Chiesi is actually organized as a benefit corporation. And this is a legal structure in which we place financial returns in contributing positively to society as dual and equally important priorities. So I want to just let that sink in a little bit. So we
Mhm.
have our financial priorities, but we put those on equal weighting as we do with contributing to positive impact on society. So
Mhm.
this benefit corporation status requires Chiesi to consider everyone affected by our decision making. Everyone such as employees, patients, local communities, wider society, and even the environment. So I've been in the pharmaceutical industry for over 25 years, and I've got a very broad range of experience. And really, pharmaceutical companies are all different, but typically they have a common theme across all pharmaceutical companies, and certainly the ones that I've been involved with. And that theme is the need to deliver better care to appropriate patients and deliver that care at the right time. And that's really a very descriptive of the purpose that drives me. So I am the general manager of Chiesi USA, and Chiesi USA is the US affiliate of the Chiesi Group. So I'm responsible for leading both the air and the care business in the United States, and growing not only our respiratory footprint, but also our critical care footprint in the United States. I have a very unique position, and Chiesi USA is a very unique company within Chiesi because even though I told you the company's existed for over 90 years globally, in the United States, we're relatively an unknown and young company.
Mhm.
So we kind of work with this vibe of a little bit of a startup vibe, but still with having the support and stability of a company that's been long established and doing well in the industry.
Wonderful. So I'm just going to jump straight into the discussion, Jon, as I know we've got a lot to discuss today. So my first question for you is around promoting social progress and health equity, which I know is highlighted as a strategic necessity at Chiesi. So how can pharma companies hold themselves accountable when ensuring their commitments to health equity and making sure that they're more than just words?
Oh, thank you. You know, at Chiesi, we view our role in contributing to social progress and health equity not only as a strategic imperative, but honestly as a responsibility and one that we must deliver on. When we look at the critical industry-wide issues facing healthcare today, there's really three that stand out to me. The first one is access to healthcare and medicines. And by access, I'm not really just talking about in terms of how patients pay for treatment, but how we can get better education to communities that don't seek out or perhaps don't even trust in healthcare as much or as often as other communities.
Mhm.
The second point is around affordability. And this has to do with addressing the total cost of care by removing silos and approaching cost from a holistic standpoint. And the third point is really around patient adherence and aiding patients in adhering to treatment regimens, emphasizing to patients the importance of staying current with treatments to avoid becoming healthcare burdens to themselves and to society. Pharmaceutical companies are making progress to create solutions that encompass more than medicines. And honestly, for companies like Chiesi that face a lot of competition in the marketplace, this is critical. We must be innovative when it comes to how we help patients.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, John. My next question for you is around the importance of adopting a holistic business approach that considers the interconnectedness of people and the planet. So, why should pharma view climate action as a business imperative?
Well, according to the World Health Organization, air pollution causes 4.2 million premature deaths globally
Oh,
every.
wow.
So the connection between the health of the planet and the people who inhabit it could not be more clear. In fact, the
Mhm.
World Health Organization has deemed climate change the single biggest health threat facing humanity.
Wow.
So it, I'm speaking now for an industry, while we strive to help patients suffering from things such as lung disease,
Mhm.
pharmaceutical companies also directly contribute both to air pollution and warming of the planet. And
Mhm.
primarily, we contribute to these through our manufacturing processes as well as how we distribute medicines.
Mhm.
So at Chiesi, we take climate action very seriously to the extent that our USA bylaws include an explicit objective to achieve
Mhm.
net zero greenhouse gases by 2035. So among other actions, our plans call for transitioning fully to renewable electricity at all of our sites, wherever it's feasible, and transitioning to carbon minimal inhalers.
Mhm.
In 2023, we had a very nice achievement. Chiesi reinforced its dedication to combating climate change by actively engaging with the Carbon Disclosure Project, and we
Mhm.
earned an A- rating in the climate change CDP questionnaire. And then in March of this year, Chiesi announced a major step in development of carbon minimal inhalers with the initiation of a new phase 3 long-term safety trial. The development of carbon minimal inhalers platforms aims at enabling Chiesi to reduce emissions related to current products by up to 90% compared to existing metered dose inhalers. So the pharmaceutical company's taken steps to mitigate our own impact, but more is needed. And it's so critical that the industry takes decisive action, and implementing transparent reporting measures will ensure long-term progress in this journey.
Fantastic. Thank you, John. The statistic that you mentioned at the start, I hadn't heard of before, but that is really quite thought-provoking. I actually recently got told that the pharma industry produces more, I think it was CO2 emissions than the automotive industry, which is so shocking to me as well. So it is definitely something I completely agree with everything you just said there, why it should be a business imperative. We're on to our last question now, so which is around your participation with us at Pharma and Patient USA this October in Boston, which we're so excited for. We're very much looking forward to you opening the event. So what we'd love for you to do is to give us a quick sneak peek into some of the things that you are excited to discuss with us. So if you could give us a snippet of what you'll be discussing around company values and patient-centric principles to drive sustainable change for patients, that would be great.
Yeah, sure. I'd love to do that. And I first want to say I'm also very much looking forward to the conference as well. So, at Chiesi, we connect the success of our business with the ability to take action to protect the planet and promote social progress. So
Mhm.
what we call that shared value. And our commitment to creating prosperity for all stakeholders is recognized in our B Corp certification. So
Mhm.
as I mentioned earlier, I believe that this is a philosophy that the entire industry should adopt when it comes to patient care focus.
Mhm.
More and more providers and payers are moving away from the traditional fee for service and more towards fee for value, and a broad approach that incentivizes population health and population outcomes. So that, in addition to considering all stakeholders in each step of the journey and taking into account not only the patients we serve, but entities such as communities and the planet, we can ultimately connect our business success with our ability to improve the world we live in.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, John. I think that's a great way to close out the conversation. So we're very much excited for you to share this with us in October. And that is actually a wrap for today's episode of PharmaPulse. So for those tuning in, we hope you enjoyed this discussion. Your feedback is invaluable, so please do subscribe and let us know what you'd like to hear next. And you can also connect with us on LinkedIn at Reuters Events Pharma too. So if you'd like to hear more from Jon on Pharma's journey towards equity and access, then please be sure to join us at Pharma and Patient USA this October 15th to the 16th in Boston, where Jon will be speaking alongside Kenneth Mendes from Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America on how to drive sustainable and long-lasting change for patients. Thanks again, Jon. It's been great speaking with you.
Thank you. I'll see you in October.
Views expressed in this podcast are those of individuals being interviewed and do not reflect any company, parent company, or affiliates they represent.